Welcome to Finding Hope, Fertility, Freedom. I'm Barkley Bishop.
And I'm Renetta Dubose. Tonight's show is something very personal for the two of us.
For years, we've both struggled to have children. Over the last 4 years, I've been pregnant 7 times. 2 of those brought me my sweet Cole and Grace.
I've battled polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS, a hormonal, reproductive, and metabolic disorder that makes it extremely hard to have children. But my miracle, Abigail, is now 1. Through our experience and sharing it with you, we learned we are definitely not alone.
No, we are not. Our goal this evening is to have a candid conversation. One that, lets you know you absolutely are not alone on this ride. And 2, provides you some insight on options that you may have not known were out there.
And if you have been told you cannot have children, you can still experience hope and freedom from the mental toll this can take on you. So let's meet those specialists who helped us and we believe can help you tonight.
So when we look at this couch, we truly see a powerhouse of women. These are a group that have helped us in ways that truly cannot be explained.
From giving us hope when times were dark to seeing us through our miracles, these women have used their medical experience and, dare I say, unique gifts in order for us to become parents.
So let's introduce this incredible group. Starting to my left is OBGYN of Augusta Women's Health and Wellness Center, Dr. Donna Adams-Pickett. For 15, close to 16 years now, we've known each other. We've been through a lot together, and you've truly helped me, literally holding my hand through so much of it. And we are thrilled to have you here this evening. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It truly is an honor.
Absolutely. And next to Dr. Donna Adams-Pickett, we have Augusta University's IVF and Oncofertility Director, Dr. Larissa Jordan. She specializes in reproductive endocrinology and truly changes infertility into fertility. And she helped me through a nearly 7-year battle with PCOS and infertility as well. So we're so happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having me here this evening. I really appreciate the opportunity and so wonderful to see you.
And then last but not least, mental and emotional toll that this happens on all of us through this. Ruth Yorio joining us as well, a Christian counselor at Renewing Hearts in Augusta. Ruth, you've experienced your own miscarriage, so you have that connection of what this entails and the mental toll it really can take on everybody. So thank you so much for bringing your expertise here this evening.
Thank you. It's such a blessing to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And there's so much to talk about, so much wisdom on this couch. After the break, we'll dive deeper into how you can find hope and experience fertility freedom. Be right back.
Well, each doctor brings with them a unique perspective on this journey.
And Dr. Adams-Pickett joins us now. Dr. Pickett, can you tell us a little bit about how women should prepare their bodies for pregnancy, especially if they know that they may have some trouble?
Well, thank you so much for asking that question, Renetta, because many people think I can just jump in head first or feet first into pregnancy. So I think it's very important to find out if there are any pregnancy history or medical history in your family even that could impact your pregnancy. So if you have a mother, an aunt, a sister who's had preeclampsia, who's had diabetes, who's had hypertension, that may factor into your pregnancy. And that helps you get everything right with your body with those particular areas so that it will not get in the way when we're trying to have a successful pregnancy.
So once you get pregnant, miscarriages can happen. And in 2019, that's when I had my first miscarriage. Heartbeat, went to the next appointment with you, no heartbeat, rocked my world. But really that is a statistic that 1 in 4 women go through this. Is there a way to avoid this? Because the first thought I was thinking was, what did I do wrong?
What did I do wrong? That is the question, and it breaks my heart every time I hear it. Only 75% of pregnancies actually make it to a healthy baby. That means, like you said, 1 in 4 pregnancies will not move beyond the first or second trimester. And a lot of that has to do with just genetics. You're born with every single egg that you were ever going to have. Your husband or your partner makes over 20 million sperm every 72 hours. It's impossible that every single egg will be in tip-top shape. It's impossible that every single one of the sperm will be doing the best that he can do. So they may come together in a way that the pregnancy may not survive, and it has nothing to do with you.
And doctor, how do you counsel your patients when there is a loss, but then they want to try again? How long should you wait? What do you do in between until it's time? What's that golden time frame that you wait until it's time for you to try again?
Well, I usually look at why they had the loss and how far along they were when they had the loss, because that really will direct the counseling. But typically, if it's a first trimester loss, I'll recommend that they have at least one normal period between attempting again. And after they have that normal period, to go for it. Just go for it.
I love it. What's the most common thing that you find with your patients that come in that want to start a family that that they fear could happen? Is it miscarriage? Is it something that even people think about? It was never on my mind.
I think the most common thing that people fear now is that they may not make it through the pregnancy. With the United States having as high of a maternal mortality rate that we have, there are many of us who will read things about mothers who will make it all the way until the time of delivery, and then they'll have an unfortunate event. We were just talking recently about a very popular influencer who had a brain hemorrhage the week before her due date. So I think that is very present in most moms is, am I going to be here to raise my baby? It's a real concern.
As we put a bow on this, final question would be, you really do look at the whole health of the mom and the husband or partner as well. Mental health, as we'll talk about with Ruth, is so important. You see it firsthand when they come in for your post-op and as they're preparing to have a baby, and through that journey, what guidance do you give them just to really make sure that if somebody's asking how your emotional state is, right?
Absolutely. I think it's very important that we as a society recognize that while there's so much joy that comes from pregnancy and childbirth, that it truly is a new job. It is a new job, it is a new task, and we have to support people through probably the hardest job that they will ever have.
You can hear much more about our conversation tonight with Dr. Pickett on WJBF.com. We certainly appreciate you sharing with us this evening, and you can watch more of the interview on our website. We'll be right back.
Fertility treatment is a crucial next step for many trying to have a baby. Joining us now is Dr. Jordan, who helped me accomplish that. Dr. Jordan, thanks for coming.
I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you for having me today.
So one of the big questions that a lot of people will ask is, at what point does somebody need to come to you?
Well, as a fertility specialist, we would like to see patients not after long, prolonged struggles. And for patients that are younger, 35 years of age, we would like to see them after 12 months of unsuccessful conception. After 35, we really would like to see them after 6 months, because time becomes an essence for females who are over 35.
Dr. Jordan, I was about 30 when I went to you and freaking out, thinking that I would never have kids. And we first said, hey, let's prepare my body. Let's get prepared. So what do you tell people to do when it's time to prepare? And I know a lot of people don't probably do this, but how do you get ready to get pregnant, especially when you're having issues with infertility? Exercises, supplements, what do you do?
I think it's a fundamentally great question, because fertility is not just fertility treatment or fertility fix for one factor. Particularly for female infertility, majority what is bank on quality of eggs. So age definitely factor for egg quality. However, what you do on a daily basis, what your nutritional status, what your routines are, do impact egg quality for young patients and patients that are older. So now for physical activity, in general rule, to be active, 30 minutes to an hour brisk exercise every day or every other day is sufficient. Obviously depends on general condition of a patient, and avoidance of excessive exercise like muscle building or exercise marathon running. Those may interfere with fertility. And for supplements, more and more evidence suggestive that there's some particular supplements very important in preparation for conception, and one of them is folic acid.
You have this confidence when patients come to see you that I'm going to get you pregnant, we're going to figure this out. But sometimes, in my case, I never found out what was wrong, but I can tell you I had 2 children. How I did it was through a steroid at one point, but I don't know if that was what I'd been missing the whole time. But that is something that so many people go through of like, what's wrong with me? And what if we don't figure this out? Does that mean all hope is lost?
In order to figure it out, what factor or factors of infertility, we always do evaluation. And in evaluation, we rule out a major problem, such as male factor infertility, ovulatory problem not ability to release an egg, or fallopian tubes, absence of which would be a major preclusion from conception, uterine factor. You may have a very unique problem.
Yeah.
And many times it could be peritoneal factor, which is factor that involves environment when egg released in your pelvis, and a lot of times there's a fluid that might have inflammatory effects and prevents egg and sperm interaction effectively. So that's one. Or there's a subtle problems with fallopian tubes that is not very easy to visualize on traditional testing. So unexplained infertility approach still similar like other factors of infertility, though a unique twist. And a lot of times it's required significant optimization with lifestyle, looking for inflammatory factors, looking for endometriosis that's very commonly associated with unexplained infertility, which is not easily determined and requires surgical evaluation.
Where do you start people so that we can sort of rule out the process and get to the next step?
Start with lifestyle optimization, looking for potential optimization for fertility performance. It's a first step. Seeing us in an infertility clinic and having a very thorough consultation, looking for other identifiable factors of infertility, then have targeted evaluation.
It sounds like fertility freedom, Berkeley.
Absolutely does. And you were talking about just the emotional and mental toll. And sometimes you do have to switch gears and think about what those other options are. Dr. Jordan, thank you so much for all of your wisdom that you shared with us, and I hope that you've given many people watching.
Thank you.
My pleasure, and thank you for having me today.
Coming up after the break, we're going to talk to Ruth Yorio about the emotional part of this journey. We'll be right back. Thanks for joining us back here as we continue to talk now about that mental component to this entire fertility journey. And quite honestly, I am still navigating through this just postpartum as well. Ruth joining us now as we talk about just the trauma that one, having miscarriages can have, but really just starting this fertility journey can rock your world. I keep saying that, but when people arrive to you, there's just brokenness.
Yes.
And what do you do to begin even navigating through that with them?
Well, I always let them tell their story first. It's so important to be able to share, because a lot of times you have no one to share with, or you feel like most women in this situation feel like they're all alone. No one understands them. This is the first time this has ever happened, which is not true, but that's one thing we work through. So I always have them share their story, but then I explain that, they're not alone. First and foremost, the Lord is with them, that Jesus is with them. And we talk about that, and I'm a biblical counselor, so I use God's word to give hope. But also we talk about the fact they're not alone. Part of that is opening up and letting them in. And that's a huge part that we have to really push, because most of the time when somebody is struggling with this journey, they shut down, fall asleep, and feel all alone because they push everyone else away.
How do men deal with, oh no, we're dealing with an infertility issue here, or oh no, we've had a loss? How do you counsel them?
Well, I guess the best example of that was my own journey. When I had a miscarriage, I went to bed. I did what most women do, and I hid. And my husband came to me, and he had to talk me out of it. And he had to shove me out. He didn't literally shove me out of the bed, but he had to talk me out of that and just remind me that life goes on, that every day is a gift, every single day. And you have to find those moments of joy and each day to keep going. But with men, it's so important to have that spouse or that support person. With my husband, I had the support. I had that person that just really encouraged me, but also it was hard on him too. You know, they're suffering as well, and they're forgotten a lot of times. So just encouraging them as well, encouraging the women to reach out to them, to look for moments to do something special for them. And you know, that's part of their journey as well. It's not always being focused on self-help and all of that. It's also helping others, because we grow and we heal when we love and when we show that love. And first and foremost in our relationship with the Lord, but also showing it to others. And I think a lot of times we get too focused on feeling good and it being us, and we leave the men or the husband or the people in our life out. And that only harms, that does not help.
So I think to add to that, friends and family, right? So we talk about the male factor.
Yeah.
I remember being like, if I see a plus sign on my pregnancy test, I don't care how many miscarriages I've had, I'm going to be happy and y'all are going to be happy with me. And when they weren't,
Yeah.
I really just would shut down, and it became robotic, to be quite honest. And so I think that women need to break that barrier.
Yeah.
What would you say to women who are stubborn like that? Because George said to me finally after the last one, he said, if this doesn't work, I don't think I can go on. And I had a real hard time accepting that. Thank the Lord, Grace Campbell came along.
Yeah.
But I really did. I had a hard time accepting that, because I thought, this is my journey, and I've been going on, and it's been happening to my body. But it really wasn't just my journey, right?
Yeah.
We get stubborn-headed about this.
Yeah. No, when women are, not only in this topic, but others, when they shut everyone out and, you know, I'm going to do it my way and I'm going to do it, and I don't care what all of you think. I just encourage them going back to the Word and just saying, that's not what we're called to do. We're called to first and foremost love the Lord, but then love others. And it's not showing love to do that. It's a protection to yourself. You put a wall up, you push everyone out, and then you're the one that hurts the most. They hurt as well, but you're hurting more than they are. So just reminding them that this is not helping you. If you truly want healing and you want that hope, then you can't shut everybody out.
So much great information, and there's more you can share with us on our website at WJBF.com.
Final word from our doctors when we return.
We've heard so many wonderful things today, and we've got some nuggets as well that we hope that you can take home and certainly help to give you hope. But we still have a few more questions that we want to get a hold of here.
Yeah, absolutely. As the title entails, we're finding hope. And so we want to ask each doctor as we leave here, what is something that you do or ask your patient? How do you make sure that they have hope when they leave your office?
Well, I like to pass along to the patient that your journey is a very unique one. And to crowd out the noise, the things that we read in books, on social media, Facebook, that doesn't apply to you. Make sure that your journey focuses totally on your journey and no one else's.
And Dr. Jordan, I know that you gave me hope for the very long time that I was your patient, but how do you give your patients hope when it seems like all is lost?
I think in general, I'm very optimistic and hopeful person, and I absolutely love my patients and things what I do, and just being hopeful as a provider, believing that set of skills, knowledge, expertise, and teaming, have a team, strong team with my patients, we will be able to succeed one way or another, one step at a time. I always believe we will get to the point when my patient will succeed. And it's kind of natural process when we work with infertility patients.
And then Ruth, going through the journey and post-journey as well, how do you give your patients hope?
Well, being a biblical counselor, the first most important thing is Jesus. I tell them that all man can give you temporary relief, but Jesus can give you eternal. And so I always focus on that and lead them in scripture in that, but also reminding them they're not alone. not only is God with them, but they have support. And part of the journey that I do with them is helping them find that support, not only through me, but through the people around them, and just reminding them there's nothing to fear.
What a team, huh?
Yeah.
Now you understand. Now you understand how we had hope as we left our journey and went through our journey as well. And we hope that you've been given that this evening as well.
Absolutely. We appreciate you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much again for joining us tonight. We hope that this evening was full of information for you. If there is a question you still need answered, our website has extended interviews with each one of our doctors at WJBF.com.
This is just the beginning of what we hope to accomplish in sharing our stories with others. We hope your journey gets easier, and please share your journey with us. We would love to hear from you.
Have a great rest of your evening.